So Dr. Bibi Jan is the co-founder and counselor and a board or director of Club Heal. And as a parent educator with over 40 years of experience, Dr. Bibi Jan's passionate involvement in community work has seen her work with children, youth, and families across a myriad of issues. She was conferred the Public Service Award in 1987, the Public Star Award in 2006, and the Public Service Star Bar in 2017 because of her extensive involvement in community work. Now, I am a particular big fan of Club Heal, so this is an absolute honor to have and be seated next to Dr. Bibi Jan today. Welcome to the brunch, Dr. Bibi. Very happy. I'm kind of fangirling a bit, but I'm trying to manage it. How long has it been since you founded Club Heal?
It's about 9 years.
It's been a while. I can only imagine the amount of people and help that you've extended to so many families and so many individuals. And I understand that today you will be talking about help seeking as well as maximizing students' potential. You will be sharing on the relationship between mental health and general well-being, as well as various strategies to flourish in the education journey. So I'm really excited for this. Dr. Bibi Jan, please.
Thank you, Atika, for your kind words, for your kind introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. A very good morning to one and all. Thank you, MENDAKI, for having me to share my personal experience. Okay, let's start with making sure that we all understand the key concepts that we have put here. One is academic excellence and one is mental wellness. Now, there's a very strong correlation between academic excellence and mental wellness of a person. Now, I just give you a very simple definition here. Academic excellence is demonstrated by the ability to perform, to achieve, and also to excel in scholastic activities. Okay, this is the standard definition of academic excellence that we all know because we all in Singapore are very familiar with this concept. Now, academic excellence also has been identified with achieving high grades and superior performance. That's what is being linked, associated with. However, recently, with all these technological changes and AI and what have not with IoT, we find that academic excellence is not just getting good grades. Now we are moving away the concept from mere working towards grades to mastery learning. Now, actually, you can get more information about mastery learning. I'm not going to unpack this concept of mastery learning here because we have very little time. Now, the second word that I think, or terminology that I like to discuss here is about relationship between mental health and well-being of a person. Mental health is more than just absence of mental illness because people think that, oh, I'm okay because I don't have schizophrenia, I don't have bipolar, I don't have obsessive-compulsive disorder. These are all clinical aspects of it that I'm not going to discuss because we are not talking about children here and what we can how we can help the children. Now, when a person has good mental health, healthy mental health, we can see that a person will be able to meet their learning potential, be it children, teenagers, or even adults like you and me. We are able to cope with normal stresses. Every day we are encountering these stresses. And more importantly, we are able to connect to community and friends. After all, we are all social beings. So ability to connect to people is very important. We do not want to be socially isolated from other people. Now, question is, why do we need to promote mental health? I mean, you can just get here, very simple, is to ensure that we develop optimum functioning, to flourish in our education journey, to build resilience against adversity. There are a lot of adversity in our life. I mean, life is not a full bed of roses. There are a lot of crises that we face day to day. So how do we build resilience? So person who have a strong resilience, hopefully, inshallah, they will be able to go through their journey. Their life journey and develop protective factor from mental ill health because sometimes a prolonged stress, prolonged burnout, if it is not addressed, it will lead to mental ill health, mental ill problem. Then, of course, we need to provide skills and confidence. And in order to do that, we have to help. We have to make sure that we have help-seeking attitude and help-seeking behavior for early intervention. And finally, with good mental health, we are also able to increase opportunity in our life and choices, good choices, because there are a lot of things we can do. Now, at the macro level, we find that there are many initiatives done by different organizations, institutions in Singapore, to address this mental health. Even at the global level, WHO, World Health Organization, have looked into all this. We have MOH, Ministry of Health, we have HPB, Health Promotion Board, and also MOE. Even at the school level, later on, our next speaker will be able to elaborate on this. And finally, at the community level, we have voluntary welfare organizations, Malay Muslim organizations, private and social enterprise are also looking into mental health, because this is a real issue, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, for our discussion here, we are looking at family level, because as parent educator, as a mother of 6 children also, I have difficulties. I have my own struggle helping my children, helping my family. So nobody is actually not involved with this problem, not struggling with this mental health issue. So what can we do at the family level, and how being individuals, being Muslims, especially being Muslims, we have Maqasid Sharia, where if we focus not just on religious issue, ritual aspect, we are also focused on the need to maintain life and mental health. So this is very much covered in our religion. Some of the main concerns that I would like to highlight here among parents who are watching our program right now is about the need to ensure that our child is not left behind and we don't lose our child. Now, when I'm talking about loss here, we're not talking about physical, literal loss. We can lose our child when our child is having problem and if they are not being addressed. They are not being taken care. That is what I mean here. Now, poor parenting, neglect, these are some aspects of it. So when children are not given the right stimulation, not being taken care, not being monitored, not being helped, this will also affect the child's development. Now, we are also here that there are many cases in our society where children are exposed to various adverse childhood experiences and events. Some examples would be children who are physically, sexually, emotionally abused, children who are exposed to drugs, children who are having, custody issue where parents are having conflicts. These are some examples. Now, lack of support also important, because especially among the kids who have special needs and they need early assessment. The earlier we assess them and the earlier we can intervene and provide the right intervention, it will help the child. Otherwise, again, this is what I mean by loss. We lose the child. And parents with issue like mental health, they are also sometimes we ourselves have mental health problem, but we are not aware because we are so mechanical. Every day we go day by day meeting the needs, and sometimes we are not aware ourselves, and we find that children are mirroring us unconsciously, and lack of role models and protective factors. These are some examples that I can cover here, just to ensure that we understand and we are on the same page. What are the tips for some parents? I think the very basic is to ensure that we have a very strong relationship, emotional bonding. We may be staying together under one roof. That doesn't mean we have a strong bond. So in order to have a strong bond, we must have strong trust. And in order to develop this trust and bonding, we must have good communication skills. Okay, by working with the kids, by talking to the kids, by making sure that we process their feeling and their thought and validating their emotions, I think this will be some of the things that we can do in order to have good communication with the child. Now, the other thing that I also want to highlight is never underestimate the power of role modeling, because if we have positive mindset, inshallah, most likely the kids will also follow us. Likewise, if we feel helpless and hopeless, the kids will mirror us. So therefore, I'm advising to myself also sometimes, because I also have the same situation, the same problem. So we have to be mindful, we have to be aware of our own emotions, and hopefully we'll be able to navigate our emotion and help the kids to navigate them, theirs. Now, then we're talking about resilient building for the children. Well, one way to ensure that resilience is part of the whole process of helping the child is to make sure that we have a very safe environment at home, physically, emotionally, psychologically. This is very important because otherwise the child will develop, in a very insecure manner. Then we are talking about positive social connection. So the social system, the support system is very critical, not just for the children, even for adults like us, for parents. The more social system, the more social connection we have, the better it will be. Then we're talking about life skills and pro-social value and self-regard. Okay, these are some of the things that I think we know, the sense of purpose and personal responsibility. Then the next thing we're talking about developing social emotional competency in children. I think I just put some of the things here. I think we have to, I don't need to emphasize about the importance of inculcating moral value, virtues and all these. These are critical to ensure that our children are very strong. But some of the tips that I can, if you can remember this acronym, I think that will be useful. Ensure that just keep on active. I think as adults, as parents, we have to be active, and hopefully the word ACE, ACE, be communicative and listen with empathy to our children. By having ACE, hopefully our children will also ACE in their life. We will ACE in our life. Children will ACE in their life. Now, these are the key ingredients that we can look forward. I think with that, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be able to discuss more during the Q&A. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Bibi Jan. I think, your sharing was so insightful that, one of the things that I really got from it was this notion of resilience, right? And you did mention that, with the current pandemic, with the stresses, with so many things changing, in the local landscape, the education landscape, as well as the global landscape, there's so many uncertainties and challenges, and this skill of resilience is a muscle that we can build.
Yes.
And resilience being the ability to cope and to thrive. It's really about not really just pushing things under the carpet and pretending that everything is okay. Yes. And just also, one of the things that came out was the fact that you have 6 children. And you also mentioned that you had your own struggles as well. So there's no such thing as like everybody can do everything without help, right?
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm sure helped you was the fact that you had help.
Yes, yes. We established strong social connection. And of course, we work as a team at home.